I'm Emma, and I'm here with Mahoney in the moment. Hello.
Hello.
We were just chatting before, and I was just saying that we've had Steve in before. Steve was actually our first ever guest musician.
That's legendary, isn't it?
1969.
And he's now back with his musical partner. Is that the correct terminology?
I thought you were going to say muse. That'd be all right. Yeah.
Yeah.
How did you guys meet?
So I was kind of traveling around the world, and I stayed in New York. I ended up there for a couple of years, and I had a job kind of as events manager of this bar there, and I was looking for musicians for this sort of music night competition thing that was going on. So I went to Sidewalk Cafe, which is like a folk music place there, you know, and it's got quite a cool back room where there's a big scene going on. So I was looking for contestants, and Emily was kind of playing some songs, and I invited her down, and I was making an album at the time actually over there, and Emily, I wanted some like bluegrass vibes and a girl singing on it, so she sang on it, and you know, I played on a EP that you did, and we just started, you know, we thought we might as well just do these gigs together. And
yeah, we started where we were both already gigging at that time solo, and it just sort of turned out that we'd both be at the same gigs together, and I would just sing on one of his songs and he would play harmonica on one of my songs, and we started realizing, why are we splitting these up? It doesn't make any sense. We can just make this, and it just kind of happened really organically, I think.
That's really cool. And how long did you stay in New York before you moved over here after that?
So that was in 2010.
Yep.
In the very beginning of 2010. And we started making music instantly, like the end of January, February. And so we moved over here 2 years ago. So we moved at the beginning of 2012.
Wow.
was it? Yeah.
Yeah, right. So yeah, a couple of years there, and now a couple of years here.
And how do you compare the London music scene to the New York music scene?
I think we both think that they're pretty comparable as far as the content is concerned. It's a lot of similar people playing similar music. The differences we were talking about earlier, that it's New York is such a tiny insulated city, and it's really easy to shoot around to different gigs in one night. And we had times where we would play two different venues in the same night and be able to squeeze in 2 gigs at a time. We would be able to see other friends' gigs after we finished ours. And I think one of the big cons about playing here is that because it's so massive, that if you play on one side of town, you're not likely to head somewhere else in the evening. But at the same time, I think we both really felt like the music scene just opened up for us when we came over here, because we were playing a lot there. But
Yeah.
it's I don't know. There's more
welcome. Like the music's, I don't know, like over there there's more, oh, you're part of that scene or that one.
Yeah, it's cliquey in New York.
Yeah.
So there's the anti-folk scene, and there's the folk scene, and there's the rock scene, and and the metal, and you can really feel the differences between all of those cliques. But
So you think that everything's quite boxed in terms of music? Everything's quite, or not really?
I mean, the place,
a little bit. Everyone's very professional there. Everyone has business cards and their hair combed right or whatever, and they know what their strategy is of their music, you know? Whereas kind of here, it's a bit different, isn't it?
Yeah, it feels like people go to, I mean,
bit less competitive.
Everyone goes to New York to make it, don't they? So I think because that tends to be the case, people know what they want, people know what they're going for. And I mean, the place that he mentioned before that I played, we met, and I used to play all the time, the Sidewalk, there would be 60 people who would play in one night there, and it would be music completely across the board. So you'd get to see a lot of different stuff in one night. But I do think most venues are either at one end of the spectrum or another.
Yeah. So is there a preference? I don't want to get anyone into trouble here.
We like doing, do you know, with big cities, it's good to visit. It's kind of good to do a big gig in either city, isn't it? And, you know, where all your sort of followers or friends and stuff come. But in both cities to play every week, I think I was saying before, wasn't I, is a bit, you know, harsh. But
it tends to always feel better when you're just passing through town. And so even though we both,
it's best to be on tour.
Yeah, we both have really serious affection for both cities, but we also love to travel. So we played gigs in LA that felt amazing, you know, just felt like the reception was so good, but maybe that's just because we were passing through town.
Yeah.
So I think that sometimes it doesn't really matter. I mean, we both love the cities themselves, so they both have really good music venues, and I don't know if it's fair to pick one over the other.
London's better at the moment.
I think you're lucky if you can get to play and live in both, and that's what we've managed
a lot
to
of
achieve.
talent in both.
Yeah.
So diplomatic.
Yeah.
Like politicians.
So we're going to play a song now. What's it called?
It's called Who is Archie Lane? I don't like you. I don't like you. I never did. Never kept it hid. It's a case of friction, a real contradiction, deeper shade of blue, confession of the truth. Archie Lane, I came here to explain, leaving on a jet plane, never coming back. You'll get through with everyone around, repulsed by you. Archie Lane, you're a loser, a loser. Who cares what they're saying? Just as long as they're paying, permanently plastered, greedy Boston. And it's more, more, more money in the drawer. You only care about names, faces in picture frames. Archie Lane, I came here to explain, you'll always be the same loser. Yeah, you'll get through with everyone around, repulsed by you. Archie Lane, you're a loser. I know it means nothing to you. If it's a choice between you and her, then I choose not you.
So let's talk about the album a little bit.
Yeah.
What's it called?
Don't Say No.
It was released a little while ago now.
Yeah, in April.
Okay. And where did the inspiration for the title come from?
That's good. It's a parenthetical title without really being parenthetical.
What does that mean?
It's one of the lyrics in one of the songs. So
Okay.
So basically the song is Misty, and one of the following lyrics is "Don't Say No" in the song. But
Okay.
apart from the fact that Misty isn't a very good name for an album, it also, we thought that the concept of the title really spoke to what we were trying to say with the music.
Don't say no to the album as well.
Yeah,
Which is quite a good
Yeah,
thing.
it's like kind of all that thing, yeah.
It's a marketing tool as well.
Give us a chance. Yeah. Yeah.
So how long did it take for you to put the album together?
Well, this one, when we met, like most of these songs were kind of written already, almost, you know. So I had a first album that was really kind of romantic and folky and stuff. So we did that one, and this one was always going to be like an angry second album,
Yeah.
wasn't it? There was it's like quite themes of like frustration and stuff, and a lot of Emily's songs that she wrote before I met her had that as well. So
Yeah, mine tend to be pretty negative and nasty anyway, whereas Steve's tends to have more of the positive slant. But
So was it a combination of the two, or was it just your songs, or?
yeah, it's a combination of the two,
Yep.
with room for last minute changes. So basically, we had a list of songs that we knew were going to go there, and then just a couple of open spots. So that came out kind of in the studio.
But that's why I think, like, that's why we're doing it as Mahoney in the Moment and stuff, because there's loads of people that sing as songwriters, and it's song after song, and even if someone's amazing, I don't know if I want to get through. We were just listening to the White Album on the way here, weren't we? And like Paul's song, John's song. I know it's ridiculous to even talk about that sort of stuff, but if you're in a gig and there's a different singer on each song and stuff, I think that's really cool.
Keeps things fresh.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I think an album's more listenable if it's got different singers and different ideas.
Yeah, because even some of our favourite performers, you can just get samey once you get, 3/4 of the way through an album. So,
But I wrote this, a lot of the songs when I was working in a bar in New York, and it was kind of weird. Like, it was a pretty, wasn't great. It sounds amazing to be in New York, but, so it's kind of about day jobs and stuff, innit? And work and people at work and stuff like that. So that's the theme,
Okay.
So, yeah.
And this is your second album together?
Yeah.
yeah.
So do you feel the pressure after releasing the first one, it being quite successful, and then the second one? Do you kind of feel like there's that
Was a
pressure to
little bit,
match
wasn't
to
it?
it?
I
Wasn't
think
it?
there
Or-
was pressure, yeah. Definitely.
Because, as well, when we did this in East London, Limehouse.
Yeah.
And so, I drove across London every time we did it, like the 2-hour drive.
20 miles there and 20
So
miles back.
It's kind of like, method actor vibe, innit? That I'm really cheesed off, like, doing it. But that's because I've just driven it kind of...
Yeah, by the time you would get to the studio, you'd be furious,
As
and
in
you'd be
character.
like, go straight to the microphone.
Yeah, and sing all these
Get out
angry
these tense
songs.
songs, yeah.
But there
Wow,
was a bit,
that
wasn't
angry.
Yeah.
it? Yeah. They must think I'm a real dick in that studio. But,
But yeah, I think there was pressure, because I think the first album was virtually effortless in so
They
far
were the
as
songs that we played
knew.
in a gig.
Yeah,
So,
it was like it was
successful
ready
songs.
made. There was no question as to how the orchestration was going to be, or to the order, or anything like that. And the second album, we could have cut it so many different ways.
But on the other hand, there's a chance there to be more creative. You got a blank canvas, you can do what you like.
Yeah. And it was really hard to do, like, the track list and everything, whereas the first album, we had ideas about it early because it was what we played in the gig. Whereas with this one, we had no idea, And I know that people got a short attention span as well, and you want people to hear it, so... What is the first 3 tracks going to be? I'm going to have a breakdown, so...
Because Steve has a quite old-fashioned idea of how an album should go. He still thinks of A-side and B-side, and I like that
but
he
that's
values
tape,
that.
that's cassette, isn't it?
Well, yeah, I mean, and
Cassette
that's
or
the
vinyl.
generation that we grew up in.
Yeah.
And I think that, unfortunately, that's not the way that people listen to music anymore. I know that. So, in
Yeah.
a way, you have to sort of cram everything that you think is the best close to the beginning, which doesn't make for a great album. It just makes for, and...
Yeah.
That's really interesting, I think. Actually.
But I think you also have to kind of, if you have integrity, it sounds like bullshit, but if you have integrity, you kind of have to think, well, no, I'm going to make this album as an album that I would want to pick off the shelf as a collection, so
Yeah.
that you can hear it from beginning to end and really go on a journey.
Yeah.
And rather
I
than
agree.
say the single is track number 1, and all the
'Cause-
stuff I'm not sure about is at the end.
Our first album, we know that the first 4 tracks have got like 10 times as many like buys or listens or whatever as the rest, isn't it? So it kind of, it's really weird. It's almost like you need to do EPs, don't you? But I kind of think like, in 5 years' time, when you think, I remember our 17th EP, wasn't that great? It's just weird. I think albums are better, so...
Yeah.
So I was having a mooch about your Bandcamp site, and I noticed that you had a quite quirky merchandise on there. Stress kits and Halloween kits and all sorts.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Can we talk about that a little bit?
Definitely.
Where did the idea for that come about?
Well, the first album, the cover is me... Can we reveal this?
Oh my God. You've already done it now?
It's me and a girl on the on the cover, and
It's supposed to represent the two of us as kids, but obviously
it's at a kids'
not me.
party. So
Yeah.
when we did the CD release in New York, we did party bags,
So we did they're called
Yeah,
goodie
and
bags
so
in
we've-
America. And we
goodie bags. Yeah.
Yeah, but we always used to say that that's our party album. It's a fun album. There's lots of fun instruments, and everyone's like, there's laughter on it, and we wanted that vibe, that kind of emotion, to be surrounding the album at all times.
I thought it was brilliant, by the way.
Yeah, and it's sold really well as well. Yeah,
So
so
this one we got a stress management kit. So when I made this album
Yeah.
anyway, I was extremely.
needed a stress
I've just seen
management
some
kit.
clips of us recording this album, and I look like I'm gonna have a actual,
breakdown.
It's not even like Curb Your Enthusiasm. It's like proper
Yeah.
stress. The hair's falling out and stuff. So stress management kit. Yeah. So we had to think about that, and we went up to this party store in like Barnet or somewhere, didn't we? It was like a
It's
warehouse.
like the biggest party store in all of London.
Yeah, and just had all these things like yo-yos with smiley faces on it and stuff, and
Stress balls.
yeah, the stress balls are quite difficult though because we have to post this stuff,
Yeah, and they're really heavy.
and they are like they're like bricks. So
Yeah.
Have you tried all of this stuff yourself? Has it worked?
what to reduce stress?
Yes.
I think that if you can't put on a stupid pair of glasses with a fake nose and squeeze a stress ball and play with a yo-yo at the same time and not feel a bit better, then
Yeah. I think the album is a better stress kit than the actual stress kit, isn't it? Really, it's a bit of a joke. I don't know.
we like the idea as well. The stress kit comes in like a McDonald's box, like a black McDonald's box, like a Happy Meal dinner.
Yeah.
Yeah, who knows what the next one's going to be? We've got a
Yeah, we're
High
doing
hopes.
a Christmas
doing a Christmas EP.
EP. So
Will there be a kit with that, or is it already
Santa's little
Yeah.
glove or
Stocking.
something.
Yeah, it's a secret.
Maybe
you
we'll
may
do that.
have just come out with it.
Yeah.
Stocking Santa, right?
Yeah.
Stocking stuffer.
Yeah.
Sorry, I might have to edit that bit out.
God, you've blown it now.
That's all right.
So let's play another track.
Okay.
Was it good?
This song is called Never Enough. You say I should write you something beautiful. You're never patient, just keep reminding me how long you waited. But you say I have a cutting knack to point out when you're wrong. What a dangerous tool with which to write you a song. You say give me a call, but when I do you give me grief that it's never in person. You say give me a week, but you mean a year, and I can hear that you're getting worse. You say all you want, simple things, just my time and love, but those are seldom simple, and they're never enough. You don't want a song, you want a compliment, and you don't want the truth, you want the sentiment. Well, I can give you all that stuff. But it won't matter, no, it won't matter, 'cause it's never enough. You should stick to the mirror that you got, 'cause if you borrow mine, fine, You don't look like you thought you did. And someday I'll regret not buying into what we are born and bred to believe we should give into. But you don't want a song, you want a compliment. And you don't want the truth, you want the sentiment. Well, I can give you all that stuff. It won't matter, no, it won't matter, 'cause it's never enough. Never enough.
So you've been gigging all over London
Yep.
Yeah.
in the last few years, months. We got a favourite, or is there any highlights that you enjoy?
Our favourite gig we've done.
Favorite gig or a favorite venue?
Both,
Right.
or either or.
We did some quite early, when we first got here, duo gigs at the Old Queen's Head
Yeah.
in Islington.
That's
Where-
a great venue.
You know, on a Sunday when everyone's eating their roasts and stuff, and is a bit chilled out, and I think it just worked for what we do, kind of, you know, nice kind of harmonies and romantic vibes, so they went down pretty well.
Because we're vocally driven as a band, we tend to prefer the places that have really incredible sound and, you know, good sound technicians, but a kind of ambience and atmosphere as well that will promote that. So even though we've played in lots of venues here where you're kind of screaming over the din of the room, and there can still be really cool venues, it doesn't necessarily suit what we do particularly. But
Yeah, and we played at a ukulele festival this past summer.
that was amazing. That was in Cheltenham.
It was in Cheltenham Town Hall, and you know, I've been playing a while now, so I get nervous, but not proper nervous. But with this, I was completely like barely
Schwitzen,
upright when it came
Do you
off.
find that you get a better performance if you are more nervous?
And I was hungover, so maybe that.
If
was
we're
why.
playing duo, yeah, probably, because if you don't have any nerves at all, then you can very easily go into autopilot, can't
Yeah.
you? And you either don't care about what you're playing, or and people can tell, you know.
Yeah.
And I think that if there's a bit of if there's more vulnerability in what you're saying, and for a lot of the types of songs that we do, you really need that in order to get it across properly.
Yeah.
So
We've also enjoyed recently.
Sorry, I'm getting distracted.
Yeah, we've got. We got this. We got a band, and
Yeah.
you know, we do quite a lot of covers recently, and I've enjoyed that anyway. So, you know,
Steve wishes secretly that maybe not
I
so
wanna be in
secretly,
the
he was
E
in
Street
like a
band.
rock and roll band. Yeah.
don't even want to do this.
So, you know, it's all right. It's no
Ouch.
secret.
No, we've
He
been.
can't help it. It doesn't matter.
No, like yeah, I enjoy like recently doing the band gigs and doing like Dr. John and
Yeah.
you know, covers and stuff. That's been quite
Well,
fun.
because we've
so-
started playing kind of less typical gigs. We've been playing for quirky weddings and private
Yeah.
parties and things like that.
Yeah.
And
That's nice.
kind of really by no urging of our own, but they just sort of seem to be coming our way. And because of that, it's also pushed us to try things that we wouldn't necessarily play, because people don't necessarily want to hear an album of our music if we're performing for other
Yeah.
people's, you know. So, but that's been really fun, because then it becomes a challenging
Yeah.
exercise.
Yeah, because when it's your own songs, you do get sick of playing them, and
Yeah.
to inject some of that, even from a performance perspective as well. People haven't seen you before. It's like they're like playing a Tiffany song or you know
Yeah.
a Madonna, and that's weird, but you know it's fun. So
Because when you first start writing music, generally I would say you start writing music because you're listening, you're learning, because you're learning how to play other songs. So that's what happens first. You listen to other music, you try and learn that, and then you usually end up writing your own stuff. And that will stop for a long time if you stop trying to either kind of cover other people's songs or learn songs that you know. And
Yeah.
and I think the fact that we just kind of recently started learning a lot of cover songs is also good inspiration for us trying to write new stuff again.
yeah, have we answered this question? What was the
I
question?
think so.
What was the question?
Old
Favourite
Queen's Head.
gigs?
Old Queen's Head.
How have we got in here?
Ukulele festival
Yeah.
and doing weddings with the We're versatile.
That's cool. I'm not counting. It's fine.
Right. All right. Yeah.
What about you talking about covers? Have you got any favourite ones or an artist that you're really into? Both.
What are we learning at the moment? I've got a list of covers, haven't I, that we want to learn.
We do Little Eyes by Fleetwood Mac, which I really like. Steve doesn't like playing it so much because he can never remember the words, but we're big Fleetwood Mac fans, and
Are we?
I really like doing that.
Yeah. Well, that's like the vibe, isn't it, as well?
Yeah.
Do you not know that you're a Fleetwood Mac fan?
No, I am. I go through phases. I like the original Fleetwood Mac as well. I like the Peter Green one with the blues stuff. So, but yeah, Little Lies. We do Such a Night by Dr. John, as I just said, as the last song, and that's quite fun.
Yeah.
Such a night. And the band like doing that.
Yeah.
What else have we been doing? Ryan Adams, Bruce Springsteen, stuff that's quite obvious.
Yeah.
Beatles. Yeah, I mean, I like doing that, so we've got a few on the
Neil
pipeline.
Young.
Neil Young, yeah. We've got this new keyboard, and I think we got, you know, there's covers on a keyboard when you press it, it does like an electronic sort of lift music.
Yeah, like bad jazz.
I think on our next gig we're gonna just play this thing while I'm tuning up or whatever we're doing.
Yeah.
Just to, you know, so if they're covers, that might be like, you know.
Because we've
the
always
Tetris
thought about having like entrance music, so like having like the Have I Got News for You like theme music or something playing when we're coming on, and we just haven't gotten there yet.
Yeah, so different.
That would be quite good.
We want our own theme music, so
I really want to come to a gig now that you keep talking.
Yeah, just a
yeah,
cabaret.
there's party bags, there's theme music.
Exactly, that's amazing.
Yeah.
I think ultimately we like the idea of having fun in it. Like as far as the music is concerned, I tend to be really serious, and Steve is constantly trying to lighten the mood. But in a way, that's a good balance because it means
Complements each other, definitely.
Yeah.
Well, we play with this guy in New York called Will, who's an amazing musician, and he did this album with us that I did there years ago. But when we play with him, he's always like, "Yeah, you were really good once you stopped taking it seriously." Like,
Yeah,
so
because-
it's like, do you actually play with me because I'm some sort of comedian or what? You
Yeah.
know. So I don't know. I can't actually be serious. I
No,
think.
he's no.
It's the-
Especially when we're playing with other people. Steve just wants to make everybody else laugh, which is a really kind of comforting,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah, I suppose.
comforting thing to have on stage. But makes for a pleasant environment.
Yeah, it makes it like you're the school teacher though.
Yeah,
doesn't
like
it?
I crack the whip and I make sure that everyone stops tuning as soon as possible, and
yeah.
Steve tries to keep everyone laughing.
Yeah.
It's a good balance.
Yeah.
Before we go, I've got one kind of fantasy question. If you could collaborate with anyone, dead or alive, as a duo. It's a toughie, sorry.
Well, it's not tough for Steve.
Well,
You would maybe say Lennon dead.
you
But
go
I
for
think-
it. I don't know. You probably know then. You know me. I don't know.
Yeah, I know you would say Springsteen.
I want it to be a musician that's all right though. That's the thing. Because I like loads of musicians who don't seem like they're very nice people, you know. So I don't want to be making music with someone and then it shatters all your dreams. So someone you know is all right. Like, we don't know they're all right, but you know,
You think
You
they're right.
assume.
they're never an arsehole in interviews or anything. So I don't know. Josh Ritter's a good guy. That you know.
Yeah, we both really like Josh Ritter, and he seems like a sweet guy. And going back to what we were just saying about having fun, as far as watching someone who just looks like they're having a blast on stage, that kind of seems like someone you'd want to collaborate with. So someone who really enjoys what they're doing. Because there's a lot of talented people out there who are just completely miserable. And it's like, well, I'd really love to sit and watch how you write a song and to play with you, or to, like, for me, I'd love to sing with certain people, but it, you know, if you just seem like a miserable, it's not.
I've got to go for Springsteen and the E Street
Yeah,
Band in
that was-
1978
He didn't, yeah.
on stage with them.
Yeah.
With Clarence.
Did you say 78?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
so lame.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right.
That's my answer.
What about you?
Gosh, that's really tough.
Emily really likes Laura Marling. Or
I
did.
really do. But her music's gotten a bit. Oh, it's weird to say.
But if you were alongside her though, there's no light and shade.
No.
So maybe it would have to be someone. I don't
But
know.
I really like Laura Marling's like first EP, her first, her kind of quiet, intimate, not big Ethan Johnsy band stuff. Yeah. Oh, that is tough to say. It's really easy for me to pick for you who you would want to collaborate with.
Mm.
I like collaborating with Steve.
Aw, that's nice.
Thank you. But for me, Springsteen. Thank you.
Should we leave it at that? If people want to find out more about you or love what they hear and want to buy some tracks, where can they do it?
Yep, so we have our first album up on pretty much everywhere. It's on iTunes, it's on, we'd always love to direct people to our Bandcamp, because not only is that where we put our new stuff up first, like free downloads and covers and stuff, we wouldn't want to try and get sued by selling, but... and
the party bags.
The party bags, all that stuff is there, merchandise, and the newest album will be up on iTunes by the end of the year, and everything else is kind of available in the Pandora, Groove, Sharky, Spotify.
Yeah, and we're available for weddings,
Netherlands.
funerals,
Bar mitzvahs.
openings of malls, everything, yeah.
Definitely openings and malls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Great.
Thank you very much for coming in.
Thanks.
How do I find a decent beer around here? How do I find a smile that's real and sincere? And the lonely road is just like you told me it would be. And I should have known. I feel so alone in this city. So take me home. Take me home. As I drive alone in straight lines in the sunshine, these haves and have-nots remind me I'm on the wrong side. So why you gotta be so fake? Why do they say it's so great? Here in the lonely road, it's just like you told me it would be. And I should have known. I feel so alone in this city. Take me home. Take me home. Take me home. Take me home from this lonely road. It's just like you told me it would be. And I should have known. I feel so alone in this city. So take